Alright, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. So, I had a members request to check out this video here from Clayton Crowley. Classic, guys. Like, not the video itself, but like channel. Guys, Clayton Crowley is, man, fantastic content creator. And this one is titled The Most Underrated Player in NBA History. And, well, I mean, he's got my attention because, you know, right off the top of my head, there's a ton of players that come to mind, but I'm not going to bother throwing out all of them because I'm sure he's got somebody in mind that I have no idea. But anyways, I'm curious to see what the topic is going to be at hand here. So really, let's just get right into it, guys. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description like I always do. There, you're going to see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys. I really, really appreciate your support. And I think we should just get right into this. It's going to be a longer one. Grab a drink, grab a snack, all that good stuff. We're looking at a 30-minute video here. So, yeah, like the vid if you could. Hit that hype button if you could. I'd appreciate it. And let's get right into it, all right?
What does underrated really mean? I hate to start the video off by being pedantic, but it is kind of important. It's a weird word. It gets used in all kinds of ways, and it changes depending on the audience. Some people use underrated to mean something more like overlooked or underappreciated. For instance, I don't think Tim Duncan is underrated. Underappreciated, sure, but it is basketball consensus that he is the best power forward ever and one of the, at least, 10 greatest players of all time.
Fair.
We might not talk about him as much as we should, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a dissenting opinion on that.
Okay, agreed. He's rated correctly, ranked correctly. But yeah, definitely underappreciated.
Not underrated. And the audience does make a big difference. Moses Malone is super underrated by what you might call a casual fan, but what about certified ball knowers? Underrated is just being improperly rated.
All right, who's underrated? Joe Dumars, off the top of my head. I bet this video is not about Joe Dumars, but Joe Dumars. The value he put in those two championships is overlooked because of Isaiah Thomas. And it's ironic because he was actually finals MVP one of those two championships. I know this isn't going to be about Joe D, but off the top of my head, that's what I consider an underrated player. And, well, I'd say underappreciated as well.
Valued in general by a group of people. And the group of people I'm talking to is you. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you know about Moses Malone, or Dennis Johnson, or Prime Grant Hill.
Dennis Johnson.
What I mean by the most underrated player ever is the player with the largest gap between your initial reaction when I say his name and the reaction that I think he deserves. You hear the name, and you go, eh. So here we go.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say the name, and you're gonna go, eh. And it is then my job
like Kurt Rambis
to convince you why that reaction is wrong. You have to promise me that after I say the name, and you go, meh, that you'll give me a fair shot at this, okay?
All right, let's do it.
Here it is. The most underrated player in NBA history is John Havlicek.
Havlicek stole the ball.
I knew it. Nah. So let's break down what are likely your preconceived notions if you have
Okay, real quick. I think Havlicek played on the Bill Russell, Bob Cousy Celtics. So, yeah, okay. If that's right, I'm not 100%. This is before my time. I think he was part of that dynasty. So if he was, then I can understand that he was being overlooked because of the other two stars. But let's see if I'm right.
You probably think of John Havlicek as an unathletic white guy from the black and white pre-taped NBA days.
I don't know enough.
To whatever success he enjoyed by Bill Russell. There's a ton of them in that camp, right? Maybe you know he was a great sixth man. Or that he was nicknamed Hondo because he kind of looked like John Wayne. And maybe you've heard that radio call of Havlicek stole the ball.
Yeah, of course. It's the first thing I think of.
So I've got my work cut out for me. If I'm going to back up the claim that he is the most underrated basketball player ever, I feel a responsibility to prove just how great he was.
All right, I gotta be totally transparent. I do not know nearly enough about John Havlicek, so I'm in. Time to learn.
Let's start with his athleticism. Not only was John Havlicek a great athlete for a white guy from back in the day, or for a white guy period, Havlicek is one of the legendary athletic specimens in American sports history. He was a prodigious high school athlete, recruited by Ohio State to play football, basketball, and baseball. He settled on basketball, but Ohio State's football coach, Woody Hayes, you know, the Hall of Fame all-time great coach, Woody Hayes, dogged him all 3 years he was a Buckeye and would introduce football recruits to him, saying, "This is the best quarterback in the country who isn't playing college football."
Dang.
Havlicek even got drafted by Paul Brown and the Cleveland Browns as a receiver and ran a 4.6 40.
Wait. He's a quarterback who could play wide receiver. That's different.
Years into his NBA career, he was still getting so much attention from the NFL that Red Auerbach threatened to sue the league for tampering. Hondo did do some moonlighting with college baseball. He hit .440, and his childhood friend, Hall of Fame pitcher, thrower of the greatest knuckleball ever, Phil Niekro, said Havlicek would have been a devastating pro.
Okay, so he's like a Wilt Chamberlain. He's just a pure athlete then.
And Havlicek did play college basketball for Ohio State, where he went 78-6 over his 3 years, made the championship game every year, and won the title in 1960 as a teammate of Jerry Lucas and Bob Knight. Havlicek's most enduring physical trait, though, the one that got brought up time and time again, was his otherworldly endurance. The dude had Olympic-level stamina. His resting heart rate was measured at 41 beats per minute. For context, Michael Phelps's resting heart rate was measured at 38 beats per minute. The Celtics used to joke that Hondo's lungs were so big they had to be x-rayed separately. Was he a white Dr. J?
Oh my God.
But make no mistake, John Havlicek.
Hey, that's great for basketball, though. He picked the right sport because that's the one you need the most cardio for. So, yeah. He can never run out of breath.
Beck was an athlete. But how was he as a basketball player?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. And as I get into the meat of this, I think you'll be able to see the sequence of events and the factors that shaped our timeline into one where Hondo's achievements kind of get forgotten. He won. A lot. He was a member of 8 NBA championship teams over his 16-year career without ever knowing the feeling of a loss in the championship series.
Wow.
His 8-0 finals record is the most championship wins without a loss of any player ever. All right, he won. Check that box. But anyone can just be on the team and win. James Jones won 3 titles, and he's not exactly on the level with Larry Bird. Was John Havlicek good? Yes, he was. In fact, he was great. He was a 13-time All-Star, made 11 All-NBA teams, an 8-time All-Defensive Team selection, and had a 3-year stretch in the early 70s where he was first-team everything.
Oh, wow.
He was the all-around player of the 1970s and one of the most complete basketball players to ever live. Few players have ever been tasked with more, been more suited to doing everything, or succeeded in those efforts like Havlicek. He was operating at the top of his game, something I'm trying to do with the help of today's sponsor, AG1.
Nice transition.
Ever feel like no matter how hard you try, you're still missing something in your daily nutrition? AG1 makes it easy to take ownership of your health with a simple, science-backed approach. Each serving packs 75 plus vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients from the best and highest quality ingredients they can possibly find. It's designed to increase your intake of the nutrients and antioxidants that help fill the gaps in your diet. My favorite part about it? It's simple. I've noticed that I'm more alert and experience fewer cravings throughout the day, all thanks to one scoop once a day.
You guys got some
No big
Balco?
schedule, no handfuls of pills.
Some Balco powder?
Just an easy, fast way to help support your body while promoting your metabolism and microbiome. Get started with AG1 with their New Year bundle, which includes a free AG1 duffel bag while supplies last, by going to drinkag1.com/Clayton Crowley. That's drinkag1.com/Clayton Crowley. Bill Bradley and Red Auerbach echoed the same sentiment. Havlicek was the quintessential Celtic. Unselfish, loyal, up to the task. Whatever needed doing, he did it. As is the case with a lot of great
ZZ Larry Bird before Larry Bird?
all-around players, though, the lack of a singular signature aspect of his game makes it slightly less distinctive. The fact that his most enduring trait is his stamina isn't super sexy. Pause. In truth, Havlicek was just a basketball player in the way that Tom Brady was just a quarterback. You could probably find other guys who had more technical savvy or more immediately identifiable strengths. Things that look good on paper. But then you watch them play the game, and you realize that whatever it is they're doing, good things tend to happen to the teams they play for. One insider in the 70s said, if you gauged worth by pure skill, Havlicek would not rate in the top 5. But if you were playing for $1 million, he'd be in the top 2. Was he a great scorer? Yep, he scored 1,000 or more points every year of his career. He retired with the second most playoff points scored,
wow,
and as the game's third all-time leading scorer.
26K?
Was he a good passer? Yes. He routinely led the Celtics in passing, especially in the playoffs, and is second on the Celtics' all-time assist leaderboard behind Bob Cousy. Was he a good defender? Yes. Like I said, he made 8 all-defensive teams. 5 of them were first-team selections, which is more than guys like Dikembe Mutombo, David Robinson, or Tony Allen. And he probably would have made more had the award existed in the first 6 years of his career.
Oh, wow.
He was, by my estimation, the best two-way player of the 70s outside of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and still sits second on the Celtics leaderboard for all-time defensive win shares behind Bill Russell.
Of course, Bill Russell.
Who cares, though? They were plumbers. We're talking about a dude from back in the day.
Yeah.
Which might be an instant disqualifier for some people. They'll say that basketball players today are just so...
And you wonder why, like in the earlier video from today, I say, no one feels sorry for JJ. Somebody else in his shoes, his situation in LA, we might feel bad for you. We don't feel bad for you. We remember. We remember all this crap you said.
So much better that if you took a dude from back then and plopped him down in the league today, they'd get cooked. Yeah, congratulations. You have described the function of time and knowledge.
Right?
You're literally holding the one thing the human species does well: cumulative culture, passing knowledge down generationally against these guys. Players today are able to do what they do, in some small part, because of John Havlicek. So just tack onto his resume that he was basketball's prototypical swingman and its seminal sixth man. Normally, tweeners are guys who are too small to be forwards, but too slow to be guards. Not Havlicek. He was faster than the forwards and bigger than the guards.
So he was kind of like Manu Ginobili, too, because he was doing all this from the bench. I keep forgetting he's the sixth man. So to be all NBA in all those categories and an all-star in everything that came with it, and he did that as the sixth man, this is getting pretty crazy.
Guards of his day, on top of being a perpetual motion machine. And while he wasn't the first super sub, he was the game's greatest sixth man. A player of starting caliber who would come off the bench and maintain the team's lethality on both ends while the starters caught a breather.
Manu Ginobili.
It was something that Havlicek never had a problem with. He just wanted the team to succeed and was fond of saying that it wasn't being one of the players that started that mattered to him. It was being one of the players who finished the game.
Nice.
In that way, he was a bench player in name alone.
I mean, once again, Manu Ginobili, because he did close out the games with the starting lineup.
Third on the team in minutes played as a rookie, and by his second year, he was an All-NBA player and the Celtics' leading scorer. All, don't forget, while they were winning title after title after title. No player until Manu Ginobili was as essential to their team's identity and success and came off the bench. Hondo paved the way for all the great ones that came after. Vinnie Johnson, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams. Hondo's contributions in that role are remembered, if fleetingly, if even unknowingly, still today, when the sixth man of the year is presented the John Havlicek Trophy. Objection, I hear you cry. So
Great
John
game.
Havlicek was just a sixth man.
Hey, you guys ever play any Ace Attorney games? These are some of my favorite games, man.
Objection, I hear you cry. So John Havlicek was just a sixth man who rode Bill Russell's coattails. You still need to recognize the elephant in the room, the looming shadow of Bill Russell, the emperor of the dynasty. And you know what? I will sustain your objection, but only in part. John Havlicek was a sixth man in those days, who benefited tremendously by playing with Russell. There's no lie there. Hondo was lucky. Lucky to have a team-first attitude, to have a skill set that fit the team and their needs, to play for a groundbreaking coach, and alongside a GOAT-level superstar. For sure. But the idea that he was just a sixth man, or that he doesn't deserve some credit for those early titles, is categorically false. There are situations in team sports when a player needs to make something happen. When the clock is winding down and the outcome of the game hinges on the actions and decisions of a single player. The moment. We remember the moments forever.
Later.
They're a huge part of the reason most people watch sports in the first place. When hours or days or years of buildup crescendo into a single place and point in time. Sure, it might be just one possession, one shot, one moment, but it is the moment.
Yep.
And an athlete's ability to come through in the moment is paramount when we get down to the nitty-gritty of greatness. Some players don't have it. They can't get it done. Some of them shrink. And some of them rise. John Havlicek rose. It is a trait as quintessential to John Havlicek as his stamina. He was clutch. Remember that Havlicek stole the ball thing?
Yep.
It wasn't just a famous radio call. It was the biggest play of the Celtics season and one of the most impactful defensive plays of all time. It is Game 7 of the 1965 Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics are trying to defeat Wilt Chamberlain's Philadelphia 76ers, advance to the finals, and win their 7th consecutive title.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a Game 7.
The Celtics are loaded,
Against
probably
Wilt.
the best team of the Russell era, but Game 7 goes down to the wire. Boston is holding a 1-point lead, trying to inbound the ball under their basket when Russell turns it over. With 5 seconds left in the game, Philly is in the ideal position, under the basket with a shot to win the series. Havlicek is guarding his man with his back to the basket and starts to count off the seconds. And at the last moment, he peeks out of the side of his eyes, and there it is. The ball sailing in the air, right where he knew it would be.
He gets it out deep, and
Nice.
Havlicek
Nice hustle.
over the stand drove. Havlicek stole the ball.
Sealing the Game 7 win and sending Boston to the finals, where they would win their 7th consecutive championship.
Crazy.
By Russell's last few years, Havlicek had evolved into the Celtics' best player. Boston lost to Philly in '67, ending their championship streak at 8 straight. The next year, in '68, the Celtics became the first basketball team to ever overcome a 3-1 series deficit against Philly in the Eastern Finals and recaptured the championship against the Lakers. Of course, Havlicek led the Celtics in playoff points and assists and was second in boards behind Russell.
Wait, leader in points and assists, second in boards behind Russell? As a 6-man?
He would have won the Finals MVP had the award existed. In '69, Russell's last year, Havlicek led the Celtics in points and assists again and was second in rebounds behind Russell again. And Boston won their 11th championship, running on fumes by upsetting the overwhelmingly favored Lakers in 7 games. And again, Havlicek 100% would have won the newly debuted Finals MVP had it not gone to a player on the losing team for the first and only
Jerry
time
West.
ever, because Jerry West played, at that time, the best Finals series ever. I mean to take nothing away from Russell. He was the Celtics, and even when he wasn't winning MVPs, he was always their spiritual, emotional, and intellectual leader. He was literally their coach at this point. But as he got sharper, Hondo became the tip of the spear. Shit, he led the Celtics in playoff minutes in '69 over Russell.
What?
Hondo
Again, was he still coming off the bench at this time?
entering his peak, and that turbocharged engine in his chest was
Nice
red,
hustle.
eating up miles. In the '68 and '69 finals combined, there were a total of 629 minutes of basketball played. John Havlicek played in 627.
What? Wait.
So why doesn't Havlicek's name get played in 6?
Okay, so in the finals, apparently he was not coming off the bench anymore. If you missed 2 minutes in the entire series, yeah, no, unless your cheat checked in at the 20-second mark every game.
127 of them. So why doesn't Havlicek's name get brought up more when talking about those teams and those championships? For a million reasons. Time, obviously, but also because of the overarching, decades-long story of the Lakers versus the Celtics, West's ill-fated heroics, Russell's swan song, and the fact that Havlicek was as nonchalant a superstar that basketball would see until Tim Duncan.
Right.
Plus, the fact that he was such a famously great sixth man probably leads people to believe that he must have been one his whole career. All of it coalesces into this big, murky picture that obscures just how good he really was back then. He made a famous game-winning shot to win the Eastern Finals against the Knicks in '69 that took me hours to track down. Reading about him and his career, you find tons of stories like that say stuff like, and of course, who could forget John Havlicek's famous heroics against the Knicks? We could. And we did.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So the guy was...
And like he brought up, I'm worried this happens to Tim Duncan too. Because he is a guy who just disappeared. You know, he did his winning, he played his hoops, and then he walked away into the sunset. And it seems like when guys do this, they get forgotten, unless you're at Michael Jordan's level. You know what I mean? Because he was able to kind of walk into the sunset, but we could never forget that guy. But Duncan, I see it happening already, and it's only been a couple of years.
One of the most complete players ever. So he routinely raised his game and delivered in the clutch. So he shouldered massive responsibilities and delivered in massive ways on multiple championship teams. Whatever. All of those things were accomplished on Bill Russell's team.
Yeah.
Is Hondo anything more than a glorified second banana? Could he be a leader and captain his own team to the top of the mountain? What a great question. I'm actually so glad you asked it exactly how and when you did. It's almost like you put the ball on the tee for me to make some kick-ass points right on your fucking head.
All right, let's do it, bro.
The answer, obviously, is yes. Havlicek succeeded Russell as captain of the Celtics and assumed the mantle of continuing the most successful dynasty in American sports history.
Okay, cool.
And he succeeded. The Celtics became a powerhouse and won 2 more championships in a deeper, more competitive league.
Okay, so he was the guy. He was the guy for 2 of those.
Could he be the captain of a kick-ass team? Yep. The 73 Celtics won 68 games, one off of the all-time record for wins in a season at the time.
Wait, what?
Won 68 games.
Damn.
One off of the all-time record for wins in a season at the time, and Havlicek was first team everything. But I know you. You think that if Hondo is this great example of consistency and teamwork, he didn't have it in him to go out there and light a team the fuck up and bury them through sheer skill.
Dude, the language is getting me, man. It's hilarious.
And force of will. Which, of course, you are wrong about. He single-handedly demolished the Hawks in the first game of those playoffs. Do you want to guess how many points he scored?
Yeah. Okay. Do I want to guess how many points he scored? I don't know. 45.
Some help. 37 points was his season high.
Ooh.
43
Ooh, wait.
was his career high.
Okay. 49.
So would you be impressed if he hit 40? Maybe he hit 45? 54 points.
Damn.
It is still the most points a Boston Celtic has ever scored in a playoff game.
Okay.
More than Bird or McHale or Pierce or IT or Tatum or anyone else.
That's crazy.
He separated his shoulder in the conference finals against the Knicks. The team fell down 3-1, and Boston still forced a 7th game with Hondo playing through the injury before falling to the eventual champs. It's one of the easiest what-ifs ever. If Havlicek stays healthy...
Too bad they lost that, because according to LeBron James fans, that would have made Havlicek the greatest of all time if he would have come back from that 3-1.
The Celtics win the title. That might not move you, though. You might say, Clayton, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas. All right. So what if I told you that John Havlicek won a championship in a dramatic 7-game final series as the captain and leader of the Celtics? What if, in that series, Havlicek played the best game of his career and came through when his team needed him most?
Okay, that means a lot.
And what if I told you that he was named the Finals MVP after his team prevailed over the greatest player of that or perhaps any era? Because that is what happened. Remember that quote about how if you were playing for $1 million, Havlicek would be top 2 in the league? Well, the silent one in that statement is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, especially at that time. In the mid-70s.
Dude, look at him get up.
Statement is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Look at young Kareem.
Especially at that time, in the mid-70s, when Kareem was at his absolute apex as a basketball player. They squared off, Kareem and Havlicek, in the 1974 finals. Going into Game 6, the Celtics are up 3-2, and both of them have played.
By the way, I like to do this just for fun. Put it in the comments. Guess what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's original name was. Okay? Not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What was his original name before he changed it to that? All right. Thank you. See you in the comments.
Brilliantly. At home, with the title in sight, Hondo tries to will his team over the finish line. He's got a decent game going at the end of regulation, but it isn't quite enough, and the game goes into overtime. In OT, he's still a little sleepy, but at the end of that overtime, his team down 2, the clock running out, Hondo rises. He tracks down his own missed jumper, grabs it off the front of the rim, and tips it in to tie the game and send it into double overtime. In that second OT, man, we get vintage.
Oh, that's a grind. Double OT and the score is tied at 90?
Hondo. He makes impossible shot after impossible shot, converts a 3-point play, and puts Boston ahead by 1 point.
Havlicek's shot is good! Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
Nice. What a rainbow.
7 seconds left in the game.
John Havlicek has played the game of his life. All 58 minutes, 36 points, and 9 of the team's 11 in double overtime. And with the last gasp of the Bucks season, Kareem does this.
7 seconds.
Of course he does.
And just like that, the best game in John Havlicek's career is overshadowed. Never mind the fact that the Celtics won Game 7 and that he was the Finals MVP, telling his teammates afterwards through tears, "Thank you for doing this for me."
Wow.
It meant a lot to him. He'd emphatically proven that he could be the guy by winning a championship in 7 games against peak Kareem, no less. But we forget. We even forget that 2 years later, he made
to be fair, we don't even give Kareem enough credit. But speaking of which, did you put your answer in? What was Kareem's original birth name? All right, I'm assuming you did. It's in the comments because I'm going to tell you the answer. Lou Alcindor.
This shot in the greatest basketball game ever played. Game 5 of the 1976 Finals. Hondo is at the tail end of his prime. He's still the man, but it's his last great year. The series between the Celtics and the Suns is tied at 2 games apiece. If you have never seen this game, or at the very least the highlights, this is the part where you go fix that. You only get to find out what happens for the first time once. And I promise you, there's no way I can do it justice. After the Celtics blow a 22-point lead in the game, we go into overtime, then double overtime. And the end of that second overtime,
Wow, I didn't expect this game to get covered here.
Remains the craziest sequence of events that have ever taken place in an NBA game. The Suns score to pull within 1.
Harsdale with a quick shot. It's a 1-point game again.
Steal the inbounds pass.
Westfall to the corner.
Westfall.
Snag an offensive rebound after the miss, and score the go-ahead bucket to take a 1-point lead.
Shot, put it down. Phoenix has got ahead.
Then, with 5 seconds left, Havlicek hits a prayer.
Havlicek touches it. It begins. 3 seconds. Hondo off the glass. He's got it with a second.
Damn.
With just a second left in the game. But the clock doesn't stop. The horn sounds, and the Boston crowd mobs the floor as the Celtics make a beeline for the locker room. As the referees try to clear the court and get the teams back out there, a fan starts a fight with one of the referees.
Richie Powers is in a fight with a fan.
What the hell?
Right here in front.
Finally, they're able to restore the smallest semblance of order. Phoenix intentionally calls a timeout they don't have, giving the Celtics a technical free throw and making it a 2-point game, but which allows the Suns to advance the ball and inbound it at half court. All of this for a single measly second of a 2-point ball game. A single second away from a 3-2 series lead, thanks to John Havlicek's game-winning shot.
Won't start until it's touched. They'll have to throw it up. Garher, turnaround, shot in the air. It's good. It's tied again. I don't believe it.
I know.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Once
Holy
more,
shit.
John Havlicek is a part of, yet eclipsed by, history. The Celtics prevailed in that third overtime, winners of the longest, most gripping finals game ever. 2 days later, they won Game 6 and hoisted Boston's 13th NBA championship. Something that wouldn't have been possible had John Havlicek not hit that runner. Had he missed it, down 1 with 5 seconds left, the Celtics would have lost. Instead, he made it, and the Celtics won.
Dang.
And it will
All
always...
right, so as a Suns fan, the 3 times we've been to the finals, once we lost to Havlicek. Now I understand that now. Second time we lost to Prime Jordan. Third time we lost to Monster Giannis. I guess I can live with it.
Live in the shadow of the shot heard round the world. That's just how it went. It's like the forces of history conspired to ensure that, however impressive, important, or historically meaningful John Havlicek's basketball career was, it would be overlooked. On top of everything we've talked about, his peak was sandwiched between the 2 great Celtic eras, the bridge between the Russell teams and those of Larry Bird. He was a quiet, humble white dude from the Midwest with a name that's hard to spell. He didn't have a signature skill that jumps off the reel at you, and in all of his biggest moments and greatest games, there almost always seemed to be something to steal the spotlight. He retired at the end of the 1978 season. He still had a fastball, and if he'd lasted 2 more years, he would have played with Bird. But he was ready. He was done after 16 years. 16 years in which he was the best player on somewhere between 2 and 4 championship teams, won 8 finals total, lost 0, delivered countless clutch moments, and continued the greatest winning tradition in professional basketball.
You Celtics fans have it way too good. I just want one of those
In that
banners.
final game, when they introduce him, the last of the old guard comes out slightly emotional, wiping his long hand over his face. He said all year how this isn't something sad, it's just another step. He gives the crowd a couple appreciative bows, a big wave, and you can see that he's feeling it. He comes back to the huddle with a couple big arm waves that say, all right, thank you, thanks a lot, now let's play ball."
Let's do this.
And the crowd cheers.
The Boston Garden ovation cascades down upon the head of one of the greatest heroes in American sport.
And they keep cheering. They cheer for so long that Brent Musburger wonders if they'll ever get to play the game.
It's just possible that we'll not be able to play the game this afternoon the way they're going here in the Boston Garden.
It's just a farewell.
But why not? How often does an institution retire?
The crowd cheered for
How
over
often
7 minutes
does an institution retire?
straight, all the way until tip. When he walked off the floor that day, the last time the number 17 was worn by a Boston Celtic, John Havlicek left as the game's all-time leader in games played, second in playoff points scored, and its 3rd all-time leading scorer.
Wow. Damn, man. Yeah, Mr. Celtic over here.
He is still the Celtics' all-time leader in points, minutes, games, field goals, and wins. He was and is truly one of the greatest players of all time. And you said, man.
Dude, you got me. You got me with this video. I had no idea how vital he was. And the fact that it seems like he was the bridge between the Walton era and the Bird era, and he just didn't get the recognition he deserved because everyone just, you know, we skip, and I'm guilty of this, skip right to the Bird era. When Havlicek accomplished, wow, I mean, on his own, almost as much as Bird. But if you combine what he did with Walton, man, I mean, not Walton, Russell, then damn. Yeah, you definitely got me on this one, bro. You got me.
At its core, sports is about the human interest. The cities, the fans, and the athletes. They get romanticized, idolized. We call them heroes, like they're supposed to embody these noble ideals. It was easier back then. Without so much access, people could fill the gaps with what we wanted them to.
Yeah.
Lift them up to some impossible standard as role models and paragons of things like selflessness and teamwork and humility. And of course, that's kind of a silly thing. Athletes are human too. They always have been. And it is unfair to imagine them truly as heroes. John Havlicek is about as close as we got, though. I could not find one negative thing that anybody ever said of him. Everyone sang his praises and raved about his humanity. Willis Reed claimed that John is the kind of player every player wishes he was. And Red said that if he ever had a son, he'd hope that son would be like John Havlicek.
Wow.
When he died in April of 2019, at the age of 79, very few people were interested in talking about Hondo's basketball career. It hardly mattered that he was a great player. It mattered much more that he was a good man.
Yeah.
Mike Gorman, the legendary voice of the Celtics, said, "I cannot come up with words to describe what we lost with the passing of John Havlicek. I can only assure you that everything you hear or read about what a genuinely good man he was is true.
Wow.
He was what we hope our heroes can be." The ultimate irony of Hondo and his lasting basketball memory is that the qualities that might make someone a hero probably don't lend themselves to being celebrities or lasting monoliths of what is ultimately an entertainment product. It probably didn't feel necessary to defend his basketball legacy from the erosion of the waves of time, like it was a given that he would hold a place of reverence forever. How could John Havlicek ever become underrated? Everybody loves John Havlicek. Who wouldn't know about and admire and respect John Havlicek into eternity?
NBA
Who
50.
wouldn't remember how special he was? Who could forget? We could.
We did.
And we did.
Dang, man. Wow. I am absolutely like I just got sucker punched in the face. I don't even know what to say on this outro except for you got me 100%. All these years of me loving basketball, and I never took the time to research how good and how vital Havlicek was. Have I heard his name? Yeah, since I was a little kid, I heard his name because of these Celtics videos, but I didn't know just how vital he was. I had no idea. This whole story, I had nothing on it. So I just learned so much about John Havlicek. Thank you so much for the recommendation to check out this video. Very happy I did. This is wow. I'm all I want to know. You know how I'm dumbfounded right now. So I'm gonna have to end this real soon because I don't even know what to say. I'm just shocked at how great of a basketball player and great of a dude this guy was, and I had nothing on it. So this is why I love doing this channel, you guys. This is one of the main reasons I love doing this channel, is I have learned so much with you guys and from you guys and back and forth. I teach. Sometimes you guys send me stuff that teaches me, and it's all just this like beautiful like harmony we got going. I'm gonna want to know from you guys though. Did you guys have any clue how vital Havlicek was? Like, be honest. Like, we all know the name Havlicek, and I hate to admit it, but he kind of nailed it when he said everyone knows Havlicek from Havlicek stole the ball. Guilty. I had no idea. Let me know in the comments. Did you guys have any clue how important, how vital, how awesome this dude was? And if you do, let me, put your thoughts in the comments. Put your story down there, and maybe some of you are a little older than myself, and maybe some of you are from the Boston area and you have some memories. But anyways, I will see you all down there. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this video with me. And very importantly, this is from the Clayton Crowley channel. And if now you probably see why I say this channel is fantastic. So link is down below in the description if you want to check out the original video, and it'll link you right to his channel. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Like the vid if you could, and hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this, everybody. Now, very important, to be water, my friends. Peace out.